All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this another special edition of the Cold Country Podcast. We're live and we're talking everything WVU and college football sports today. I'm your host, Ian McIntyre. Joining me as always, Tyler Cobb, Matt Howe, and Matt Loams. Gentlemen, it's Christmas time. How we feeling?
I am jolly, very happy to be here with you
Love the
guys.
hat.
So you
Love the
look very
hat.
jolly.
I thought you were going
I
to go with
think
I'm jolly to be here.
the last time we did a video was like after Thanksgiving, right? If I'm thinking right. So it's
Right
been a
about.
while. We went
Yeah.
from straight from holiday to holiday, just like the radio.
It was all good.
So, boys, we got a college football playoff game coming up today. Alabama at Oklahoma. Big matchup to kick off the bracket. 8 and 9 seed going at it. So, as far as I know, Alabama opened up as favorites, but now Oklahoma is favored. I'm not sure that the change in odds there. But I just imagine Alabama would have a comeback and win this game. And Tyler disappeared. I'm sure he'll be back soon. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. It's going to be a close game either way. It was a close game the last time they played in Alabama. I'm feeling an Alabama win overall with an hour left to go. But how are you guys feeling about it?
All I gotta say is Oklahoma won at Alabama. Now it's in Norman. So all else being the same, Oklahoma should have an additional edge. But you got to play the game. I know we're beating a dead horse by me saying this, but I don't think Alabama should be in the position to lose again, meaning they shouldn't be in the playoffs. But we're past the point where you could argue what should happen. What we have now, I think it'll be a good game. I think these are pretty well-rounded teams that are pretty evenly matched. So that's my short and sweet.
Yeah, Lums, how we feeling about it before I give a little bit more of my take?
I mean, I haven't really gotten a chance to like break it down, matchup by matchup in a way, but there's just something about Alabama that's rubbing me the wrong way. I mean, you said the line changed. Maybe it's people, kind of coming to their senses a little bit, losing a little bit of faith in Ty Simpson. I don't want to count him out. He's a great player, but so there's a little bit of suspect stuff going on. So I'm not too confident.
I've seen a
really figure it
rumor
out.
that he had a back injury that they were kind of covering up.
I saw
I don't know if
something
any
about
of you
that.
guys had seen that as well.
Rumors.
Yeah, I mean,
All right,
don't want to give it any credence.
Let me tell
but
you
that
something.
would be a
Matt
very
Howe keeps
big.
going back to the, Oklahoma won the first matchup. You mentioned yesterday that you thought Alabama was favored, even though Oklahoma beat them on their own turf.
Yeah, I see.
Not
I see
favored.
the open is listed for Alabama, but the spread leans towards the Sooners.
It is basically 50-50. But I wanted to bring up the fact that, yes, the first game went Oklahoma's way. But for those of you who watched Thursday Night Football last night, as I did, as I slowly lost my mind, the Rams outplayed the Seahawks, and the Seahawks found a way to win regardless. That is exactly what happened when Alabama and Oklahoma played the first time. I mean, Alabama outplayed Oklahoma. There were just certain parts of the game where Oklahoma found a way to make it happen. But Alabama was the better team on the field. They outgained them 406 yards to 212. Ty Simpson had the much better game. Even the Alabama running game, as spotty as it has been at times and as it was against Oklahoma, it was still better than Oklahoma's. Oklahoma just had a couple breaks. They had 2 fumbles go their way, and then obviously Ty Simpson threw an interception. So they won the turnover battle. If Alabama can take care of the ball, which I trust Ty Simpson to do, I think Alabama can win the game.
My feeling on it as I see a picture of Master Chief riding a warthog. What I'm thinking about this matchup is it's all about Ty Simpson, I feel like, because Loams had his point. Ty wasn't playing his greatest ball to end the year, and it was making their offense very, very, very inconsistent. And but again, I agree with Tyler. Like, Oklahoma found a way to win that game, and I think it starts with the defense. Oklahoma's defense is turned up to end the year. you know, it's a case of Alabama's faltering at the wrong time, and Oklahoma's defense especially is ramping up at the right time. So for me, it's about Ty Simpson and how he responds to that and how he's able to actually perform against the Alabama defense again. And I think it's another case of, you know, same thing. You got to start fast, right? I think Alabama's got to start fast. They got to jump out to a 7-0 lead relatively quickly to want to be in the driver's seat for this game. And it's going to be close. That's why the line shifted so much. It is what it is. This is going to be a highly entertaining first round playoff game, especially when you look at, you know, Oregon JMU in those games too. So this is one to watch, and that's why we wanted to go live before the game, you know, just break it down a little bit and not only talk about that, but talk about everything. We're here to yap. That's what a podcast is about, right? It's just going live and talking things out.
So
yeah,
that gets into something I wanted to touch on today. Looking specifically at these first round games, I think this one is probably going to be the closest.
Yeah.
In terms of matchup, I think it's the closest. No one can say what the actual results will be, but this should be the closest matchup. There's been a lot of talk about, you know, should G5 teams be in? I think so. Do you think we'll see a G5 upset? In which game do you think will be the biggest point differential here?
Biggest point differential between all the first round matchups, I would have to think it would be Oregon and JMU, because JMU struggled, if I can remember correctly, with Washington State. That was a game where they had to have a really good, like, solid game-winning drive to take control of in the fourth quarter. Washington State was a bowl team, which is saying something for the schedule they had. So they're no slouch, but I think Oregon will probably just outclass them, even though, like, obviously, as college football fans whose team is not in the running, I'm rooting for the G5s 100%. Like, I want to see as close a game as possible. But I think Oregon will probably handle business against them. But
see, I think it'll be the other one. If first of all, Ole Miss and Oregon are both taking care of business. I don't see either of the G5 teams staying within 21 points of their opponent. But if they will, I'm going with JMU to find a way to keep it close against Oregon, because we've already seen the outcome of Ole Miss Tulane. Ole Miss beat them 45-10. Tulane got, you know, handled by a 6-6 UTSA team. I know the transitive property doesn't work in football, but the point still needs to be made. Whereas if you look at JMU, I know you mentioned the Washington State game. That was their worst. That was probably their worst game outside of the loss to Louisville. They lose to Louisville. From that point forward, they beat Liberty 31-13, Georgia Southern 35-10, Georgia State 14-7, Louisiana 24-14, Old Dominion, who has been a very solid G5 team, 63-27, Texas State 52-20, Marshall 35-23, App State 58-10, then the Washington State game, as you mentioned, and then they end the year against Coastal Carolina, beating them 59-10, and Troy 31-14. They were blowing teams out, and not just bad teams. They blew out, as I said, a solid G5 Old Dominion team, 63-27. So if there's any team that is coming from the G5 that's going to be remotely close against a Power 4 team in the playoffs, which, again, I don't think either of them keep it close, it's going to be JMU over Oregon. But as I said, I think Ole Miss and Oregon both handle business and probably both end up winning by 21 or more.
I will say, going back and looking at when Tulane and Ole Miss played in the regular season, the score is a little misleading. Ole Miss definitely was the better team in that matchup, but Tulane had a lot of times where they got down the field and just couldn't quite get into the end zone. I think the game this time around should be closer. I think Tulane has really, found their stride, I guess you could say. And I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention. We already talked about the whole Lane Kiffin situation, but Ole Miss has had some major staff switch up. How much of an impact that will have remains to be seen.
Well, here you go for the Tulane folks. This Ole Miss defense held Jake Retzlaff for 5 for 17 passing the ball and 56 yards. Pete Golding, the defense coordinator, is still there. He has since been promoted to full-time head coach, not even just interim. He's full-time head coach. And this defense will be just as solid. I think it will be just as solid given that Pete Golding is still around and he's still calling the shots. I mean, the defense should remain sound, and the Tulane offense just could not do much. They were outgained 548 to 282 in total, just 6 for 15 on third down, 0 for 3 on fourth down. I don't see it happening. I don't see anything that tells me Tulane will be able to keep it close.
It's going to be a national headline, though. 100%. Like, that was one of the first questions that people had about Ole Miss whenever the Lane Kiffin thing went down anyway, was how are they going to respond to their playoff game? And I think you're right, though. They take care of business as a team they've already played before in the same stadium and beat pretty handedly in the end. So, again, I'm not saying Ole Miss loses, but it's something to watch. Maybe early game, like if Ole Miss has a couple miscues and Tulane can take control of the clock and sort of dictate the game's pace, you can see a closer game than you might think. But I would pick Ole Miss to beat them 3 touchdowns. 2 at the bare minimum.
I just don't see it happening. I mean, Boise State, in my opinion, was one of the better G5 teams in recent memory, and they kept it there and obtainable with Penn State for a while last year, but it still didn't matter. They just were outclassed, and I think these 2 G5 teams that we're going to end up seeing, JMU and Tulane, are not near what that Boise State team was.
That's also a discussion that we've had before. It sort of ties itself in, is, after the whole Miami controversy, Notre Dame controversy, BYU controversy of those teams not getting in, and the conversation of the head-to-head and strength of schedule and all that stuff. People are begging for expansion for the playoff, but it just creates another problem, in my opinion, because people are still going to be upset that teams have been left out, and you're just going to keep going further and further down the line. From that perspective, it's bad. And then again, like, you're diluting the meaning of the championship, and that also begs a question, like, do G5 teams in the current landscape deserve to be included in the playoff? I'm starting to lean maybe not. It's entertaining television in a sense that we get to watch them play a big dog team, but we know it's not going to be a game. So I was just curious, where do you guys stand on that now? After all the controversy is done, the dust is settled on the bracket.
We've talked about it before. My opinion remains the same. I like what you said about, you can expand and expand and expand, and there will always be one team that feels they got left out, right? When it was a 4-team playoff, it was an undefeated Florida State team thinking they got left out, which in my opinion they did, but not to get off topic too much. You expand it to 12, and now it's, BYU and Alabama thinking they got left out last year. This time around, it's Notre Dame and BYU thinking they got left out this year, which we haven't done an episode since Selection Sunday. We can talk about BYU in a second, because I did think that they got left out. But there's always going to be somebody you think got left out. So as far as the expansion goes, if you go to 16, now we're going to talk about 9-3 teams, 8-4 teams that they think that they got left out, when in reality they weren't going to win it all anyway. I mean,
right.
You got to think about it mathematically. Think about it like a bell curve. If you extend the playoffs and add more teams, you move your zone more towards mediocre-ish teams, if you get what I'm saying. So It's exactly what you were saying, and that it becomes more judgment calls, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid.
Exactly. As far as the G5 team, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, and many people know where I stand. Do they deserve a spot? Is kind of up in the air. Like, I would have,
Right.
if Boise State was left out of the playoff last year, I would have been, against that, because I felt Boise State had earned a spot. They had competed against the number one team in the country at the time, Oregon, and they had pretty much blown out every other team they had played, even though they were in a G5, right? But you look at this year, and you've got a Tulane team that got blown out by 6-6 UTSA, as I said, and James Madison, who lost to a team that's not even in the top 25 anymore, if I'm not mistaken, in Louisville. And so, do they deserve? I think it comes down to auto bid versus can they make it. Like, I don't necessarily think we need to give the G5 an auto bid, but at the same time, I don't hate the auto bid, because the team that gets left out in place of James Madison, I don't think is going to be good enough to win it all anyway.
Yeah.
Which is where this comes in. I would much rather see a group of 5 playoff than what we have now. And I know my G5 friends that I've talked to about this will disagree with me and say that they deserve a spot, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not advocating for the G5 to be left out, because the 12th spot, in my opinion, won't end up mattering that much anyway. So if they want a spot, they get a spot. It is what it is. But would a G5 playoff not be much, much more entertaining? If you think about it, this year alone, you'd have Tulane in there. You'd have James Madison in there. You'd have Boise State in there. Western Michigan. You put all of those different solid G5 teams. Would that not be one of the most entertaining college football products of the year? I mean, we think of MACtion as some of the most entertaining college football. It would be a playoff bracket of MACtion, essentially. That, to me, would be a much better product and be much more rewarding for the group of 5 than getting an auto bid to the college football playoff. Oh, well, you get a chance because you get a spot. But no, they don't have a chance. No G5 team is going to not only win one, they might get lucky and win one, but they're not winning 4 in a row. They're not. And 3 in a row, even if they manage to get a bye, is a stretch. But they're definitely not winning 4.
I like that train of thought. And I will say I sympathize with the fans of the G5 teams who are arguing to compete, because it would suck to be the fan of a team who knew that they wouldn't even have a chance to at least play games against those that, are competing for the national title. You know what I mean? Like, having a G5 title isn't really the national title. That's why I think, like, in my opinion, if you branch off the SEC and Big Ten and make it another league, whoever wins that league isn't really the national title. You can say that maybe they're, better teams with better players than who's left out, but it's not the national title. You're not including everybody. That's kind of my gripe with splitting people off like that anyway. So I get why G5 fans feel that way. But at the same time, like you said, the 11th spot, the 12th spot, a lot of those teams just won't be in contention with the way that the playoff is formatted. So I see it from both angles. That's why I think I'm more with you. Like, G5 inclusion is up in the air, man. Like, I don't know what you do about it. I think the original idea behind the playoffs was, include one G5 team in there so you get the representation, right? But we saw, like, this year it just got exploited because the ACC ate itself to death, and you have 2 G5 teams in there, and you have basically 2 decided games instead of 1 decided game. So I don't know. Again, in today's landscape, we talk about it all the time. College football revolves around money. It's about the product on the field and how much money and income they can generate. And with the G5 teams in there, I don't know how anyone feels about it in the higher ups. I think so. We're definitely seeing a rule change next year, right? Like, that is confirmed. Like, the format is going to change.
Well, I mean, the contract for it is out after this season. So, I mean, we'll see changes to it. How big those changes are is up in the air, but we'll likely see changes to it pretty much immediately after. Within the next month or two, maybe even the next couple weeks after the playoffs end and a national championship is crowned. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see us go to 16. That's what many are advocating for, even though I'm very much against it. I was very much against even 12-team extensions. But yeah, it doesn't fix anything. It just causes more problems. But you'll definitely see rule changes. The fact that the ACC, I mean, if you ask my opinion, Miami was only included because the ACC champ ended up being 8-5 Duke. Like, if Virginia ends up winning that, they get in the playoff, right? But because Duke won it, and at the current standings before the ACC championship and before Selection Sunday had Notre Dame above Miami, I think it would have stayed that way had Virginia won the ACC. But because they didn't, the ACC was going to be left out completely. And so they had to do something, because you're not just going to leave a Power 4 conference out completely in a playoff that's designed to showcase all Power 4 conferences. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you see some change in the future, whether that ends up being that, hey, it's 4 auto bids and it's the Power 4 champions, not just the 5 highest ranked champions, or what many have asked for is just straight up rankings. Like, forget auto bids, the top 12 make it in. There is no auto bid. It is just top 12.
My response to that is, then what was so bad about the 4-team playoff, or even BCS? What was wrong with either one of those?
Because even in the 4-team playoff, like, if you go to 12 or 16 and just do straight seeding, the little meaning that conference championships have left goes out the window. I mean, it pretty much already is, because most years 3 out of the 4 power conferences or 2 out of the 4 power conferences are getting the champion and the runner-up in. But if you go to straight 12, the conference championship doesn't matter at all. Whereas in the 4-team playoff or even the BCS, conference championships still mattered, because that game result was still able to be considered in the rankings. Like, the SEC championship in 2023 kept Georgia out of the playoff because Alabama won. Like, that was a playoff game before the playoff started, essentially.
And they should be. The conference championships need to matter. And you're getting to a point where people are asking, well, maybe I shouldn't play in it if it's going to hurt my chances.
It hurt BYU. I mean, BYU had a negative effect from getting blown out a second time by Texas Tech. Yeah. Do they make it if they don't play it, or if they, just completely opt out and don't have that other loss? Probably not. The committee still probably looks down on them, which we can talk about if we want to. But BYU played in their conference championship game, lost to a team that they had already lost to by basically the same margin. So it was no different of an outcome than what everybody expected. It shouldn't really have affected their resume, because, again, it was just having to play the second team, the same team again for the second time because of a technicality, and it ended up hurting them.
Yeah, so it's sort of, I just hate to see the sentiment that the committee has created, where if you're in the SEC or if you're in the Big Ten and you make your championship game, it's not going to harm you if you lose that championship game, even in blowout fashion. However, if you're in the ACC or the Big 12, if you lose that, even in the case of BYU, you get a second chance to play Texas Tech, who you already lost to, and you lose to them again, but yet that's the only team you've lost to all year. It knocks your inclusion out. That sentiment just doesn't sit right with me at all. And, you can, again, trace it back to G5 inclusion, or you can trace it back to, again, like these playoff systems and the way that teams get in is just not ideal. That's sort of where I'm standing.
I saw a thing today from one of the Alabama coaches. They're having, media conversation. And he said, after the Florida State loss, it was pretty much win or go home. And I think that's funny, because they didn't win through the rest of the season, yet here they are.
Yep. So they lost to, again, Oklahoma, and then they lost to Georgia in the championship. And yeah, they have 3 losses. They're in the 9 seed.
And again, talking
Above.
about that was in the championship. How much should that hurt you? Okay, sure. So ignore that extra loss, but still, as a 2-loss team, their loss to Florida State looks horrific compared to BYU's losses, which were both, again, to Texas Tech, who may be, if not the top team, they're definitely, I think, in the top 4. I mean, they're obviously ranked in the top 4, seated in the top 4. That's a good loss.
Yep.
People like to joke and say quality loss shouldn't be a thing. Why? I don't understand that. I don't understand that comment. It just seems to not make any sense to me. Wouldn't you rather lose to the best team? If you're going to have a loss, would you rather get blown out by, high schoolers, or would you have a, arguably competitive, but definitely one-sided loss to one of the best teams in the country? I think there's no question.
Have the Notre Dame Alabama conversation too, because they were both 2-loss regular season teams. Alabama gets blown out in the SEC championship, but you also have to consider the fact that Notre Dame doesn't have the opportunity to play a conference championship game. So can you hold that against Alabama when Notre Dame is saying, yeah, we're not going to do that anyway? But Notre Dame's losses are to Miami and A&M, 2 playoff teams. Florida's losses are to, as you mentioned, Oklahoma, a playoff team, but then Florida State.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma isn't on the edge in terms of where they're in the bracket, but I don't think Alabama should have even been in the conversation. That seemed to come out of nowhere all at once. It was like they kind of snuck them up a little high in the rankings, and we talked about that a little bit when they did it. I was like, I don't know why Alabama's moved up, and then it was just like it never came down, and now all of a sudden they're in, and you can't do anything about it. Miami comes in out of nowhere because, well, we can't leave out a power conference. And to go back to our question about the G5, we have shown time and time again throughout the season that the G5 and the power conferences are not necessarily far apart. I think a lot closer than most of the time when you think about it. You think, oh, well, this is real football, and these are the guys who get to play after high school. Not at all. Not at all the correct sentiment. G5 is very, very much so real, gridiron football. Ian, if you want to pull up that picture I sent you.
Yeah, let me change our.
I was just looking at that. This is very interesting.
So this was from CFB Tracker on Twitter. So shout out. But if you look at this.
Hold on, before you even say anything. Ian and Matt Loms, what's the first thing that you noticed about this?
Indiana.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I have not seen this until you pulled it up just now, and it kind of shocks me that Indiana is not only towards the bottom, but below a G5 team, yet they are the number 1 team in the country. They just beat an extremely solid Ohio State team who is top 3 in team talent. So, I mean, that right there is very interesting.
That's exactly what I was
going to
say.
Is this high school rankings? Is this transfer rankings
this
as well?
As of right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's exactly what I was going to point out. So when you get into this business of arguing the metrics of, well, this is how well players ranked and all that, you get into the business of saying, well, Indiana should be left out because they're not a good team. I think Cignetti could probably outcoach 99% of other coaches in the game. It's hard to go out and say, well, this guy's the best coach of the year, whatever. Now, looking at accomplishments at this point, absolutely. You don't get to be undefeated, number 1 rank in the country without outcoaching people throughout the season. But in terms of resources, which is probably the biggest argument for G5 versus power, so-called power conferences, a lot of that goes to the coaching, in my opinion. They say hard work beats out talent every time. This is one of those things.
Yeah.
it's a culture thing. It's a hard work thing. That's really, I don't know. I saw this and I was like, oh, we got to talk about this tonight.
So I've just looked up the full list, and I want you guys to try and guess where Indiana is in the full list of teams. So, they're 11th in terms of the rankings of just the college football playoff teams. But where do you think they are among all FBS teams?
I don't know.
I'll tell you,
37.
It is so much lower than what you are going to expect.
My guess is 72nd. And the reason I say that is because I think
there
you
are
might not be
numbers
able to
on
see
there.
it, but I think it's on the graphic.
Yeah,
Okay,
there are
okay.
numbers.
Actually, I didn't see that on the graphic, but yes, it is second, 72nd. Some notable teams in the top, like 20-ish. LSU and Clemson are 6 and 7. Penn State is 10. Florida and Auburn are 12 and 13. South Carolina, Florida State, Nebraska are 18, 19, and 20. So this, I find this about as good of a reason or good of an argument as the games need to matter more than anything else. You play the games on the field for a reason, and Indiana is proving that. They have the 72nd, worst or best, however you want to word that, team composite rating in the country, and yet they are ranked number 1 because they are 13-0, have beaten Oregon, have beaten Ohio State. I mean, that just proves that the games on the field need to matter.
Right, it's mid-team on rookie sliders. That's what they made it look like.
Basically. Shout out Kurt Signetti because he's doing something special.
Back-to-back Coach of the Year. I think I saw that was the first time that's happened. Back-to-back Coach of the Year.
Wow, Saban never got 2 in a row.
That does kind of shock me, actually.
Yeah, so, shout out Kurt Signetti. Where was WVU on that list? I assume around the
I just put the list out, so
what the heck, man? I assume probably around Indiana, somewhere in the middle.
We are 63rd.
That's exactly
so higher
what I
than
was
Indiana.
guessing, actually.
That is higher than Indiana.
So yeah.
Tulane is 68. Trying to find some teams you wouldn't expect to be low. Duke, who just won the ACC, is 58th. Vanderbilt, 55. So, Commodores doing just about.
You just got the number 1 quarterback for next year.
Yeah, they did. Georgia flip. Cannot think of his name off the top of my head.
That's so crazy. We live in an age where someone's flipping from Georgia to Vanderbilt. I love it, though. That's the way it's supposed to be, man.
Jared Curtis.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Shout out future Mountaineer. No, I'm playing.
Shout out Bo Perbula.
He's gonna go on the JT Daniels path.
No, don't do that to him. He doesn't deserve that.
He doesn't. I'm sorry. That's
Man.
bad voodoo. I'm rooting for you, Jared.
Yeah, that is bad voodoo because you don't have your camera on and your profile picture is glowing red eyes. That is bad voodoo.
Give a little meme lore there.
Okay, so obviously for our longtime viewers since the beginning, we were in the marching band. Tyler still is. It was his last year, but all of us are in the band at some point. Every year, the trombones, which we were all members of the trombone section, played the tubas in full-on no pads, full contact tackle football. And we call it Brass Bowl. And you win a brass bowl as a trophy when you win. And trombones won this year. And Tyler caught a touchdown.
Boston.
That picture sort of comes from the meme. I don't even know who took that picture, to be honest. It wasn't me.
I don't either. I just know Matt Loms was making them. Oh yeah, he's got another one up. I was
You're Pee Wee football legend. Pee Wee football legend.
That
is me hyped
hilarious.
up on a football field, guys.
That's funny.
The Signetti effect right there.
Yes.
Awesome, guys. That's funny. Also, we just had those rankings pulled up. We'll obviously make a separate video on this. I just wanted to mention a little bit about our recruiting class this year. We got
26th in the country.
Yeah, crazy numbers. Now, I've seen from like different sources, like we were number 20, we were number 25, we were number 22. Like I've seen so many rankings, but I would like to say we have a top 25 aggregate.
So 247 has us at 26th. Let me see if I can look up what Rivals has us as.
And so I've seen a whole bunch of different rankings, but anyway, very important 4 stars: Kevin Brown, Matt Sieg. Huge pickups for us, and we got probably some of the most 3 stars in the country. I think we have the most 3 stars. 45, I think the last time. 45 3 stars. It's wild.
I'm trying to open it up here. So Rivals has us at 21.
Yeah, that's where I've seen higher rankings
with
at.
49 total, 45 3 stars, 3 4 stars. All these different websites, they have a little bit different things. But like you mentioned, 2 of the guys, Matt Sieg and Kevin Brown, both coming over from Penn State. Those are day 1 guys.
100%.
I mean, I don't know if people realize how big of pickups those are. But like Kevin Brown is immediately going to start on the O-line. Matt Sieg is likely immediately going to start in the secondary. And I do know that Matt Sieg was picked up to play 2 ways. So we've got our very own Travis Hunter, very similar to Rodney Gallagher last year, playing receiver and a little bit of corner. But then we got to talk about it. Jaheim White and Dior Hubbard are both gone. As much as it sucks to talk about, they're both out of the picture, right? So no more Jaheim and CJ backfield. That backfield is completely gone. You got to start anew. But when you have to start anew, it is about as good as you can get to bring in 2 guys that can, one of which I believe can be a day 1 starter. And that is Amari Latimer, who is just a beast of an individual. If you have not seen his tape, go watch it. I believe he just won the state championship in Georgia as well, if I'm not mistaken. His team.
So you're saying he's literally a horse on the football field, just running through people.
Just running through people. He's 5'11", 230, according to 247. He looks even bigger than that on the field. Day 1 guy, and then you got to talk about name of the year, Sir Paul Jesus in Cleats Cheeks.
What a name.
What a name. An insanely fast individual.
And what a guy.
Those 2 are 2 guys that you absolutely needed to bring in if you're going to lose the backfield that you had this year and for the past couple of years, especially after losing Jaheim White. So you needed a good running back class, and you got it. You brought in Amari Latimer, got him to flip from Wisconsin. You bring in Sir Paul Cheeks, and then you bring in a bunch of guys around him in that recruiting class alone that hopefully 2 of which, another, in my opinion, I think could make an impact as early as year 1, and Jonas Maya. And then obviously, as I said, Kevin Brown. So offensive line, the bases and the foundation is being set. The running back room, this foundation is being set. That's Rich Rod's, MO right there is run the ball. Just fast, freak athletes, and that's what Amari Latimer and Sir Paul Cheeks are. I'm excited about this class. Like I said, I think a couple of these guys can be day 1 starters: Matt Sieg, Kevin Brown, Amari Latimer, Jonas Maya. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some other names like Vincent Smith, 4-star cornerback. Jaron Healy from Florida, who was recruited as a quarterback prospect. We don't really know what's going on with the quarterback room right now. There's
a future episode. We will talk about it.
Khalil Wilkins going in the portal. A lot of question marks, but a lot to be excited about, especially after this recruiting class.
Yeah, I'm trying not to drink the Kool-Aid like we were all drinking last summer, right? I'm out here predicting we go 8-4. But, I'm trying not to do that again. But looking at this schedule and looking at this class that just came in, to say the least, a bowl game is very, very, very possible. Very possible. So That's what I'm looking forward to with the team. And while we're on the subject of WVU, we'll just flip a little bit. We don't have to talk too long about this. I know, like, you Mats haven't watched much basketball in particular yet this year. We haven't even started conference play, which that's a whole other discussion. But the basketball team just looking weird.
This
Like,
is my message. Calm down.
yeah,
That's my message.
yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to
Yeah,
say.
just calm down. So obviously we're taking care of business against the teams that we need to take care of business of. We blow out Pitt, which at the time looked like a really solid victory. However, they went and lost some pretty bad games, so we know Pitt's not all there. We lost. WVU lost to Ohio State last weekend. It was a bad loss to take, especially after we played in the Charleston Classic against Clemson. And the way that we lost that game, we were in control in the second half, lost it. Coach Hodge, again, had the opportunity to call timeout, didn't, and it probably led to playing a hand and us losing that game. And then this Ohio State game, the same thing happens. We're sort of in control with a double-digit lead, and you let the game go to 2 overtimes, and you lose by a point in double overtime. And it was a tough loss to swallow, especially considering that the same Pitt team that we blew out beat Ohio State earlier in the year. So that one was kind of a tough loss to swallow. And again, it involved another thing with Coach Hodge. Had the opportunity to take some timeouts, regroup, formulate another game plan with a late clock running, and just didn't. And he did own up to it in his press conference, to be fair. He said, I've got to be better. I take responsibility for that. Another topic of discussion now that's just all coming to me. Trace and Eagle staff. Hodge was saying that some of his minutes have been cut because his defense hasn't all been there. His defense, I guess, was carrying him through those rough shooting stretches that he had to start the year, but now he's not getting as much minutes because his defense isn't all there again. That's something that he can fix. I mean, Eagle staff was a highly touted recruit last year when he came in, and I think he still has the potential to, go out there and be that go-to catch and shoot guy, and he has the ability to create his own shot. In the Ohio State game, too, a lot of the layups just weren't falling. There were some opportunities we had right at the rim that the layups just weren't going in. And Eagle staff was a part of that, and I'm sure that's why, his minutes were affected. But I like how Coach Hodge took responsibility, right, and said, this is my fault just as much as it's their fault. So we're going to try to fix this. I will say conference play, again, I said it's a whole other discussion, but it's not looking promising right now. And the selection committee who decides March Madness, who gets in and who's left out, is probably going to have to pay close attention to how we start conference play, especially even if we lose. Like, how do we look in the game? Do we get blown out? There are so many people, Tyler, like you said, who are just overreacting to this whole thing, saying we're going to get blown out in conference. We're not going to win any conference games. Hodge ain't the guy. We got to slow down on these conversations 100%. Hodge, we already know, is a recruiter, right? He just brought in Miles Sadler, who, by the way, I think it's funny that whenever he came in here, he was a 5-star, but now he's listed as a 4-star. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not joking. If you go on ESPN, he's a 4-star. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Probably some WVU, I don't know, ramifications. I can't say like bias or anything like that, but it's bias. But yeah, we already know Hodge is a recruiter. He has the ability to, tap into the players and try to maximize their abilities. I truly believe he can still be the guy, but we haven't even got through half of the season yet. No, y'all are already calling for his job. Let's slow it down. We got to see how we do in conference. We got to see how we do in Kansas City when we play in the Big 12 tournament. I said before the season started, I would like us to win 5 to 6 conference games. I would like us to go to Kansas City and win our first round matchup. And if we could get included in the tournament, that would be great, but not entirely necessary. Those are my goals, and those are all still on the table. So Let's take a chill
I
pill.
don't think it's going to be a long year, in my opinion. But why are we? We're giving Rich Rod the benefit of the doubt of struggling year one because he beat Pitt, and all of a sudden we're gonna just be out on Hodge after 12 games because he's lost some close matchups against Power 4 opponents. Like, I understand the start of the season has been rough, but it's not the end of the world. It's year one. You've got a 5-star loaded in the chamber. Take a chill pill. Let him at least get used to coaching Power 4 ball. Okay? Just calm down.
Hey, let's see what happens. We have to be on the Hodge train for the entire year as fans, so we might as well get used to it.
He's not getting fired after year one.
Yeah, he's not. So
we got about 14 minutes until OU Alabama starts. So I say we rapid fire some pick'ems and then pick the playoff games. And then if we want to build a bracket right before we get off, we can do that as well.
Yep, let's do it 100%.
So not a ton of discussion unless it's a big matchup and there's really something you want to say. We're just going to rapid fire some bowl games that have yet to be played and give them a pick. UNLV versus Ohio.
UNLV.
Probably UNLV since Ohio just got rid of their coach.
Yeah.
I'm also going to rock with UNLV. Cal versus Hawaii.
Cal.
Probably Cal. I like Hawaii, though.
Give me Hawaii, bro. Give me
I
Hawaii.
like the way Hawaii plays. So Matt Long.
Hawaii's a sleeper.
I agree. I think Hawaii's
They're
a
sneaky
little
good.
bit of a sleeper team. Pitt versus East Carolina.
Pitt.
East Carolina, baby.
Yeah, probably Pitt. No offense to East Carolina, but yeah, Pitt. No way.
I think this is a game where we could see a G5 upset, but I'm going to roll with Pitt as well, as much as it pains me to do that.
I think most of their teams playing,
I
right?
like that.
Most. Oh my god.
That's beautiful. That is genuinely beautiful. All right, we got Penn State versus Clemson. If I told you guys that Penn State and Clemson would be playing against each other in the postseason, I feel like we would have assumed it was a playoff game, but it's 2 6-6 teams going against each other. Well, Clemson, I think, is 7-5, but give me your
I'd go to this game, dude, but I'm not spending $200 to go sit in the nosebleeds at Yankee Stadium, dude. I'm not doing that. It's too cold.
Penn State and Clemson. You said give me Clemson.
I think Clemson as well.
Yeah, Clemson should have it at least by a touchdown.
I'll rock with the boys up north. Give me Penn State.
It's going to be basically a home crowd for them, right?
Is it the Fenway Bowl? What bowl are they even playing?
They're in Yankee Stadium. A lot of Penn State fans around here.
Penn State is rural, though. Like, there's people who are going to have to make a drive.
I think you don't quite comprehend the amount of infiltration they have everywhere.
Well,
like they're like Notre Dame, at least around here. Like every other house has Penn State stuff outside. But
I'll take your word for it. You live there.
He's got the insider.
I got the inside scoop, brother.
Let's go UConn versus Army. Army coming off a tough loss against Navy.
UConn, bro. Are you kidding me? Come on, Army. Army let me down, but you know what? Forget it. Army's gonna persevere. They always do. On brave old Army team.
Matt, how?
I think UConn.
Ian, you said UConn, right?
Yep.
These people are un-American.
This one is
That's
fun.
Not true.
The old Pop-Tart Bowl with the sprinkles on the helmet. BYU versus Georgia Tech. This is a fun one.
This is probably, again, like the quote-unquote best bowl game we got besides the playoff games. If you consider those bowl games, I mean, they are. But, I'm going to go BYU.
Cougs, smackdown.
It's so tough, dude. I want to pick Georgia Tech just because they put the sprinkle in the logo. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, that's a valid reason. I will not get mad at you if that's your reason. That's totally.
But
valid.
but BYU, I don't know something about BYU, dude. Give me BYU.
What's your favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
Fair enough, dude. This wild berry that's like purple with a blue stripe.
Dude, I don't like
brown sugar cinnamon, bro.
The brown sugar cinnamon's up there. It's definitely top 3.
All right,
the s'more's pretty good.
Where you
I make a hit for this. My favorite is cherry.
That's not a bad pick either. That's, I mean,
Okay.
classic.
Oh, you want to eat cherry? Have a lollipop, brother. Why are you eating a Pop-Tart with cherry flavoring?
What if I can eat both, bro?
Guys, we're
Bro.
yapping. We got to get through the picks. Miami, Ohio versus Fresno State.
Miami, Ohio.
Miami, daily traffic.
Yeah, give me the Bobcats.
I'm gonna
Bobcat?
rock-
Huh?
What did I say?
You said
Bobcats?
Bobcats. I don't
Oh
think
my
Miami
gosh.
of Ohio is a
My
fault.
Bobcat, by the
My
way.
Red
fault.
Hawks.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio.
Okay. I'm
Different
gonna rock
Ohio
with
team,
the
I was thinking for
Bulldogs
some
and,
reason.
and say that Fresno State pulls it away. North Texas versus San Diego State. This should be a fun one. San Diego State wrongfully left out of the Mountain West Championship. So San Diego State or North Texas.
I'm going North Texas still.
Is Mr. Maker playing in the bowl game?
That's a good question. I know he's transferring. I have no idea if he's playing or not.
I want to say he's sitting out.
Pick blindly.
San Diego State. They're angry. I don't know. Screw it. We ball.
ball.
Give me UNT. I hear Mestamaker's going to go to Oklahoma State.
That is a common theory.
He doesn't strike me as a bag chaser. I mean, I don't doubt it.
He's just a good player. I mean,
We'll
this
follow the coach.
I'm rocking with North Texas. I like what I saw from them all year, even though every time I picked them, I felt like I lost. So, North Texas. We all rocked with North Texas, I believe.
Yep.
Virginia goes to Missouri
Missouri.
without Bo Perbula.
I'm still taking Missouri.
Yeah, give me Mizzou.
Strangely enough, I think Virginia is going to be upset that they let the championship slip through their hands. I think they're going to be pissed. I think Virginia's probably going to win. Something about Missouri's vibes right now. I think Virginia's just going to win.
I think it'll be closer than most expect it to be, but I'm going to rock with Missouri. The ACC has just not been good this year.
Josiah Trotter
Yep.
game-winning scoop and score.
Exactly. I love it. LSU versus Houston in the Texas Bowl. This is back-to-back years LSU's played in the Texas Bowl.
Give me Houston.
Houston.
Who? LSU versus Houston?
Yep.
Mhm.
This feels like a trap, brother. I'm not even going to lie. Where is this bowl game again? Texas Bowl?
Texas Bowl.
Yeah, but Houston, their own fans don't show up to their own home games. Give me LSU.
That was.
It's not about the fans
I
aren't the
can't
ones
argue with
playing,
that.
but that's a fair point.
I can't argue with that.
I'm going LSU as well. I don't know. I just don't trust Houston.
Still on the
They
nuts
lost-
bus.
They lost to us, so. Where
Would
was
it be
that?
LSU this year?
Tennessee versus Illinois, the Orange on Orange Bowl.
Give me Tennessee.
Tennessee's going to kill them.
Give me the Vols.
Yeah, Tennessee.
I am on the same page. I actually think Tennessee's just going to murder Illinois, even though Tennessee's struggled this year. USC versus TCU.
Give me USC.
That should be a good game.
Makai Lemon sitting out and Josh Hoover sitting out.
That is correct.
Yeah,
I believe
Josh Hoover's in the
Makai Lemon should be out, and Josh Hoover should be out. I believe.
I still think USC is going to get it done by a healthy margin. TCU's been on
probably.
fraud alert all year.
Their
So-
defense ain't it.
Ian, Matt Howe, and all of us picked USC, I believe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Iowa versus Vandy. I could potentially be going to this game. This is a TBD.
Put them on the Twitter, boy.
Where's this one
What
at?
we got to see.
This one is in Tampa. This is the Reliaquist Bowl or something like that. I forget the names at this point. I just need the Outback Bowl back.
These are both hard-nosed football teams, but I think Vandy prevails, and Pavia shows why he was Heisman runner-up.
Yeah, give me Vandy.
Talk about whining after losing the.
Teams one more
Yeah,
time,
that-
please.
Not
Vandy and who?
professional.
It's Iowa and Vanderbilt.
Dude, I think there's like a dark cloud around Pavia now, dude. The vibes are changing. The tides are turning against him. I don't know. He's got like the Mahomes cloud of doom around him.
You know, people liked
No
him.
ACL.
People liked him when he was playing underdog story, but now he's trying to play, top dog story, and it's just not working.
It's hard for me to pick against him though. Give me Vandy.
Good choice. Arizona State versus Duke. No Sam Levitt and no Jordan Tyson.
Duke.
Give me ASU.
Uh,
I want ASU to win.
this
Big
one's
12
kind of
ACC,
hard.
but,
How is Duke's defense? I really have not watched any Duke football this year. Like,
they
And
did
this is-
almost choke the title
thing
game.
is, they won the ACC. Like, that is just crazy. Because I'm right there with you. I watch a lot of college football, and Duke is just not a team that I turn on Saturday. And
Their
they
quarterback was pretty solid this year.
found a
Can't think of his
way.
name.
he's coming back now, right? I think they announced he's coming back. Am I making that up? I thought I saw that somewhere. But
Darian Mensah, I don't know if he's coming back or not, but I think you are potentially correct.
I think Duke has it. Something about it.
I'm gonna rock with Duke as well. So Matt, how you're the lonesome Arizona State supporter. Michigan versus Texas. We didn't even talk about Sharon Moore. I mean, what a weekend he had.
Yeah.
Not much else to say.
Yeah, there's
Michigan
yeah.
or Texas.
Give me Texas, brother.
Should be Texas.
I don't know, man. Statements can be made in this game. I don't know.
That's true.
I'll be
No
honest,
way,
there's
dude.
not a single thing going Michigan's way.
No, I don't think a single thing goes their way in this game.
Not a
either. Give me
single thing.
Texas.
Nebraska versus Utah. Dylan Raiola, I believe will not be playing. So
Give me Utah.
Should be the Utes.
Yeah, right.
this is sad.
This one also seems like a no-brainer. Give me Utah.
This is sad that we have to talk about all the players that aren't playing in all the bowl games. Arizona versus SMU. I think this is a fun one.
Give me Arizona, actually. I
think it
think
should
it's
be
close,
Arizona.
but give me Arizona.
I think it should be Arizona. SMU cannot beat a Big 12 team.
See,
They are
now
0-2.
low key, I understand where you're coming from, but has Arizona been tested at all this year? I think that most of their wins came against not great teams, and SMU has kind of had the
I
claw their
did
way
watch
through the
them beat
ACC.
Arizona State last game of the regular season, I think.
Mm.
And they've looked pretty high-powered.
They did beat Arizona State. They put BTA against Baylor. They beat Cincinnati.
Something about it. Give me SMU.
Kept it close with Houston. I don't hate that pick, but I actually think this is going to end up being a very entertaining one, especially because most of the teams should be remotely the same as they were in the regular season. So I think it'll be a fun matchup. Cincinnati versus Navy.
Give me Cincy. It's good now. It's going to be hard because Navy runs such a unique offense, and they've shown
That
that
and-
teams have a hard time stopping it.
That and no Brendan Sorsby for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Ooh,
for that
never
reason
mind.
alone, I
I'm going
think
Navy.
like Navy's just going to give them too many problems.
Yep.
That
going
team,
Navy. I
that
get
team has
behind that.
such will. They do whatever they want whenever they want to do it.
It's the U.S. military, baby.
Yep. I'm going Navy.
I'll go with Navy.
Everybody rocking with Navy. G5 upset action. And final one on the bowl games list, at least, is Wake Forest versus Mississippi State.
Give me Wake Forest.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Wake
one.
Forest is a sneaky good team. I'm telling
No,
you.
I agree.
Yeah,
I just-
they've navigated their way through the season, somehow coming out with a really good schedule, and I don't think I could name a single team they played. So
Delaware. They played Delaware, who just won
Right?
their
that's-
bowl.
that's
They
pretty
won a
apt
bowl game in their
description.
first year in the FBS.
Still a Wake Forest.
but like there should be somewhat of a
That's-
talent differential here, right? I mean, like an SEC team. Am I putting too much weight because it is Mississippi State?
Yeah,
They had a pretty decent year.
Beat Kennesaw State by 1. Beat Western, whatever that team is. Sorry, FCS guys. Lost to NC State. Lost to Georgia Tech by 1. Beat Virginia Tech. Beat Oregon State. Beat SMU by 1. Got their BTA by Florida State, 42-7. Jeez Louise, that was a
Yeah,
bad
this sounds like a more cowbell moment. Give me Mississippi State.
I'm going with the Cowbells as well. Give me Mississippi State.
I got it. I'm with you.
You're
So,
going
ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:00.
we are almost done. We have 4 more games to pick.
Piggy's
It's
playoff games.
Speed run.
Speed
By the way,
run.
I would say this real quick for you guys on X. Head over to YouTube and subscribe, please, and comment.
2 of these games should be easy, so we'll start with the easy ones. Oregon versus JMU and Ole Miss versus Tulane. Is anybody picking a G5 upset?
Nope.
No, I think it might be closer than people think,
Wait.
but no way.
Now,
I like both teams to upset.
Okay, I'm sure you do.
Are you being genuine or
You're making me
I-
upset right now.
You got to play
Stop.
the game. No, you got to play the game. And these teams know how to play the game.
So you are legitimately saying on air that you are picking James
I'm
Madison.
saying it can happen, and I hope it does.
Clip that.
The pick'ems are not what can happen or what you hope happens.
I made my choice. I don't know why you keep telling me like I don't know what I'm doing. We've been doing this
you,
for
like,
what, a year
can
and
you-
a year and a month now.
Can you specify in bold italicized lettering? I am picking James Madison and Tulane.
I feel like it was very clear, Tyler.
All right, I'm putting you down for JMU and Tulane. If you go takesies back,
Have I ever takesies backseat?
No, you pick the Mountaineers every week, even though it's
That's
dumb.
right. That's right.
All right, the two ones that we do need to talk about: Miami
Yep.
versus Texas A&M.
This is gonna sound blasphemous of me, but I think Miami may actually come out of there with a win.
I feel like they're going to have an edge because it's like we didn't think we'd get the chance. We thought we'd be left out. Let's go in and show them why we deserve to be here. I think that goes Miami's way, but I don't know. A&M has looked like a solid team all year. I mean, they crap the bed when they see burnt orange, but other than that, they've just been systematic and good. So I think I'm going to go with the Aggies.
Loam's disappeared, so we'll get to him later. Tyler, here you go.
Upstairs. I'll be honest. If it wasn't in College Station at Kyle Field, I would go with Miami because I just, as much as Carson Beck craps his pants when the moment matters most, they're still a solid team and he has playoff experience. But I just think that environment is going to be a tad too much for Miami to handle. So I'm going to go with the Aggies and say gig 'em. And the one that is about to start within probably already has Alabama versus Oklahoma, a rematch. Before we do that, who did you pick, Miami or Texas A&M?
Miami.
All right, there we go. Alabama or Oklahoma?
I'm going Alabama. I think the rematch changes it, and I think Ty Simpson wakes up a little bit. But Oklahoma defense is for real, so I guess we'll see. But I'm going Alabama.
I pulled the game up, and I'm watching Mountaineer put his pants on right now. So give me the Sooners.
Bars. All right, I'm going Alabama.
Can we clip that too? That's a good one. That's a good one.
Clip that. I don't even know what to say now. We won't do a full bracket setup at this current moment in time if y'all don't want to, because the game is about to start.
Game's about to start, yeah.
We got time. We got time.
We do have time. Okay, so you caught me off guard, I'll be honest. I think I'll just share the one I made earlier, and instead of building one, how about y'all just discuss? This is my playoff bracket. This is what I think happens.
Hold on, pull it up again.
There we go.
Yeah, I had to change that around. Okay, so
my first thing, I don't think JMU makes it past Tech.
I'm sorry, what?
I think you remember the part where he's an idiot and picked the group of 5 to win.
It's not an idiot.
Oh yeah, that's my fault. My fault.
Sorry, reading comprehension.
Matt Howe has James Madison going all the way to the national
Texas Tech will be facing Indiana. That's my prediction.
In your natty.
I feel pretty
bad. Oregon Texas Tech was one of the harder games to pick for me.
No, I think Tech and Indiana is the most likely matchup on that side of the board.
Who hosts that matchup for Oregon Texas Tech?
It's that's the Orange Bowl. I think it's the Orange Bowl.
All right, so it's neutral.
Yeah, they're all neutrals by the second round.
What do we think?
Well, if it's not necessarily about who travels better because they both travel. Well, I guess it would be. Yeah, my fault.
It's about the fans, brother. I don't know. I don't necessarily hate it because I think that's going to be a really close game. Obviously, if they make it past the behemoth of James Madison. I think Tech has it, though. I don't know if Tech makes it out of the next round. So if they have to play Indiana, that's rough.
Well, I think peak football would be if James Madison makes it to the semis and we get Kurt Cignetti versus his old team. The 2023 James Madison roster on Indiana versus the 2025 James Madison roster on James.
Does anyone at JMU still know the name Cignetti? Was that team just gutted as soon as he left?
Yes.
He took basically
Yeah,
everybody.
so like it's not really a game of bad blood. They don't even know each other's
took
names.
He took the entire state of Virginia to Indiana.
That's funny. Me just looking at like my predictions, I don't think Miami puts up a fight against Ohio State on that side. I do think Ohio State and Georgia match up over there, and I'm with you guys. I think Tech and Indiana match up. My championship game as of right now is a Big Ten championship rematch, and I have Ohio State coming out this time.
Well,
So I have Ohio State repeating.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest. I think Tech might go the whole way.
I'd
But I
love to
think it'd
see
be
it.
Tech and Georgia. I don't know if Ohio State will be able to get past Georgia.
What do we
But
think of
we're all in
Indiana,
agreement that
Georgia
it's
matchup?
Georgia and Ohio State there on that side.
I don't see another world where it's any other teams coming out of the right side of the bracket.
Yeah.
The left is where it's difficult because I could realistically see 4 of the 6 teams coming out.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Alabama,
Yeah,
Indiana,
no?
Oklahoma,
Yeah,
Texas
yeah.
Tech, Oregon. 5 of the 6. My fault. I'm tripping.
Wait till it's an SEC title game again.
The
That'd be
only
nuts.
team I could not see coming out of the left side is James Madison, but legitimately every other team I think has a shot.
Yep.
So left side of the bracket's kind of tough.
Those are the
gonna
games
good
we'll be
football
watching.
the whole way.
Starting with Alabama, Oklahoma, which is getting ready to start. So Ian, if you want to send us home.
I will send us home. Maybe if I can fix the mess you made of our
I didn't
setup.
do it. There you go. Way to fix it.
We got it back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to us to have you watch our live streams. Getting you ready for the Oklahoma-Alabama game. That should be a good one, fun one to watch. Before you guys sign off, if you're on X, please come over to the YouTube, like and subscribe to the video. We'd love to have you in our little YouTube community. I think we're pushing 150 subscribers almost, so you can get us there. That'd be fantastic. Again, thanks for the support. Make sure to, again, subscribe to the YouTube, but also follow the Instagram, follow the X if you're not already over there. And don't forget, we have a Spotify. So for future episodes, those will release on there too.
Especially the X, because we're pushing 700 and we're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. So go follow on X.
Yeah, we have daily updates on X too. So whenever we're not recording, Tyler's over there tweeting our thoughts out.
Yeah, tell them how bad his opinions are. Go for it.
Hey, the 2-point
engagement is engagement. All right.
If
you guys go watch the game. From me, from Tyler, from Matt, and from Loams, Merry Christmas, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, America.